Good afternoon. Hopefully you got some lunch. If you didn't grab lunch, we still got a few left back there, so grab you something to eat. I got a few announcements and give everybody some time, musicians, to make their way up here to the stage. Did everybody have a good class this morning? All right, good. That's what we want to hear. Well, glad y'all are having fun. Hopefully you made it out last night to the jam, but if you didn't, we have another jam this evening. It's at 6 o'clock at the Jesse Lee RV Park. That's just right downtown, right past the KFC. So just come on down and join us under the picnic shelter at 6 o'clock at the Jesse Lee RV Park. Everybody's welcome. You can come and play. You can come hang out. Doesn't matter if you're a beginner or you've been playing 50 years. You can come play with us. So I'm going to go through the workshops real quick at the beginning here, and y'all can come on up if you want. Get ready. And as I'm going through the workshops, they'll make their way up here, and then I'll go through these workshops one more time at the end of the concert, too. So remember, everybody staying in this building for the rest of the day, you need to attend a workshop after the concert. So today we have in room 218, you can do the Circle of Fifths workshop with Jeff in the back there. We've also got, we're going to do a song swap with Martha and a couple other folks in room 119. So bring a song to sing with everybody. We'll sing some songs this afternoon. And then in room 128, you can do an intro to the dulcimer with Ann Lowe if you're interested in that. And that's room 128 for dulcimer, 119 for the singing swap, and 218 for the Circle of Fifths. And we're really lucky. Mountain Music School has brought folks together for 2 decades now from all across the region and the world. We've had visitors from many, many states and a couple of different nations across the world. But some of our best friends have also come from close to home, and we're so glad that one of them is back here visiting with us. She started out at Mountain Music School and lives down in Nashville now, where she's a singer and a songwriter. And I think she's got a couple of friends here, including our good friend Oscar Harris, who's no stranger to Mountain Empire Community College. But they're going to kick us off here with a song. Please make her welcome. This is Miss Kelsey Ray Copeland.
One morning as I rambled down by the seashore, the wind did whistle and the waters did roar. I never will marry, I'll be no man's wife. I expect to live single all the days of my life. She plunged her fair body in the water so deep. She closed her pretty blue eyes in the waters asleep. I never will marry, I'll be no man's wife. I expect to live single all the days of my life. The shells in the ocean shall be my deathbed. The fish in deep water sing over my head. I never will marry, I'll be no man's wife. I expect to live single all the days of
right. Well, it's so good to have Kelsey and Oscar visiting with us. I think they sat in on the vocal class this morning. Maybe if we're lucky, they'll stick around and sing some songs with us this afternoon, too. One more announcement while Wayne and Randy make their way up here. For instructors, please make sure that you're doing your roster every day and bringing that back to Lori. Please turn that in every day. If you haven't turned in your roster, please give that to Lori. So thank you so much. And they're coming on stage now. We wanted to do some special things with it being the 20th year of Mountain Music School, and wanted to invite some special guests, some folks that we've never had the privilege to have here before. And one of the first people we thought of was this man coming on stage here. You're truly looking at a living legend, one of America's greatest folk artists for sure. Wayne grew up in Grayson County, Virginia. He is a wonderful guitar player and a luthier, or a guitar builder. He's built nearly 1,000 guitars in his life. Has built guitars for folks like Ricky Skaggs and Vince Gill, Tommy Emmanuel, Eric Clapton, and recently Brad Paisley, and many, many others. And he still lives right there in Rugby, Virginia, and I'm sure he'll tell you a little bit about rugby.
There's not much to say about it.
Y'all are in for a real treat. Wayne is also one of Southwest Virginia's few recipients of the National Heritage Fellowship Award, which is the highest honor bestowed upon an American citizen in the folk and cultural arts. So please make them welcome Wayne Henderson and Randy Greer.
Thank you, Tyler. We appreciate Tyler doing a great job putting on events like this, and being the Crooked Road manager and that stuff. We appreciate him asking us to come play. Got one of my best buddies in the world, Randy Greer, here. I'm getting to be a pretty bad geezer, you know, getting pretty old, and bring along a hot shot picker with me to pick for you, and I'll hang on the best I can. But what I spend most of my time and energy doing is building instruments. I've made, like Tyler said, I'm working on 963 guitars, and over the last almost 60 years, I guess. That mandolin is number 145, or 43, 45.
40.
40.
But who's
That's
counting?
Right. Oh, yeah, I can't. That's how I'm getting old.
yeah.
I can't keep up with
I
stuff.
think you're working on number 154
Yeah.
mandolin. And this is a special mandolin, not only because it's a Henderson mandolin, but it has the same birthday as Wayne Henderson, May the 3rd. It says so inside. So he finished this one on May the 3rd, his birthday.
Well, thank you. Appreciate that. This old guitar, I can't afford those new ones I make, you know. But this one I've been playing for 46 years, and it's number 52 out of that bunch of 900 and some I've made. But well, we try to play some old-time music, and I'll maybe talk about instrument making a little bit. And I see lots of young folks here at this workshop is pretty cool, exciting to me, and I love to see young folks picking. I started playing when I was 5. My brother bought an old guitar, and I had to get a G chord like that. You know, I couldn't reach around the neck that time, but I don't know how long I spent trying to learn chords I could reach around the neck, but we didn't have jam programs and workshops like this. No word I knew about back in. And anyway, well, we're going to trying to think about stuff I did when I was a youngster and instrument making and picking. We'll do that some, but now we'll try to play you a little bit of an old-time tune. Thank you. That's an old-time fiddle tune called Leather Breeches. And I don't know where it got that name. It was from beans that you put up and hang out on the porch. And Mom used to do that some, and they dry out in wintertime, and they was awful tough to eat. But if in wintertime it's cold, if it's all you had, it's pretty good. And anyway, I don't know if that's where that tune got its name from or not, but I learned it from a fellow named Albert Hash. And if you all, I saw Martha Spencer here a while ago. She's here teaching, and that was part of her family. And Albert was a true friend of mine that helped me get started making instruments a little bit. He was a fiddle maker, and my dad was an old-time fiddler. And I'd tried to, I don't even when that was, it's before I ever put a serial number in a guitar. So it was probably before the 60s sometime, and I'd tried to make instruments and didn't know what kind of glue, and I'd made a guitar. I'd actually slipped the dresser drawer bottom out of my mom's dresser and laid it out in the branch and soaked the walnut veneer off of it, and so it was thin. I knew I could bend that for the sides, and I got that, and I put the drawer back in there after I got the veneer off of it, and luckily Mom didn't know I'd got her dresser drawer bottom to do that. And anyway, I got that guitar almost made, got August and heat and humidity there, and got to it, and then it totally came apart, and I was so disappointed that I almost had me a guitar made, and it just fell apart on me. And my dad, being an old-time fiddler, had Albert work on his fiddle before. And I know this fella named Albert Hash, who's he can probably tell you what to do, because I think he's made fiddles before. And so he took me to see him. Albert turned out to be a wonderful fella, and I ended up actually getting him back out into playing some music. We was picking some at that time and had a radio show, and I talked Albert into coming and playing with us, and he showed me that fiddle, and I couldn't believe it. I'd look at it, but it made me realize that somebody's hands could make an instrument like that and not come from Martin or Gibson or Sears and Roebuck. And so that got me really started and into making instruments. I've been doing that ever since, most of my life, And well, let's see, we'll figure out something to pick here. Another sort of an influence. He actually lived close to me, but I never met him till he started making records. And I got some of those records back in the 60s. A fellow named Doc Watson. And he got to be a friend of me and Randy both, and hung out in my shop a lot and played one of my guitars the last couple of years of his life. And he was always certainly a guitar playing hero to me. And we always play some of his tunes. We might do a couple of them here. And Doc was famous for, he'd take an old-time song, usually of some kind, and turn it into a guitar flat-picking instrumental. And this is a tune that he did that to. It's an old-timey song called I Don't Love Nobody. And when Doc recorded that back in the 60s, when he got through, of course, he turned it into a hot-picking guitar tune, and the recording engineer that was recording that had never heard that or anything like that probably ever before, and asked Doc what in the world's the name of that tune, and Doc misunderstood him and thought he was bragging on his picking. And Doc said, "Oh, there ain't nothing to it." And that's what Doc would probably say about his fancy picking. And when the record came out, that was the title of that tune. So Doc always called this tune "Nothing to It." So we'll try to play it.
Doc always said that "Nothing to It" was a much nicer title for a song than "I Don't Love Nobody" too.
yeah, probably so. Yeah. That may have been another reason there. Well, we're going to try to pick it.
Mr. Wayne Henderson.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Appreciate that. Old Randy's wearing that mandolin out too. And
Well,
usually
it is a
takes me
Henderson mandolin, so all I got to do is just hold it. It kind of plays itself.
Well, I don't know about that. Yeah. Anyway, while we're doing doc stuff, feel like singing one?
We'll see.
And,
Yeah.
Well, Randy's a pretty good singer, and we're gonna get him to do this old. It's a train song that I heard on one of Doc's records, and I always liked it. And Randy's gonna sing it for you now. One called "The Greenville Trestle High."
I remember as a boy how in wonderment and joy I'd watch the trains, they'd go by, and the whistle's lonesome sound you could hear for miles around as they rolled across that Greenville trestle high. But the whistles don't sound like they used to. Lately, not many trains go by. Hard times across this land mean no work for a railroad man, and the Greenville trestle now don't seem so high. On the riverbank I'd stand with a cane pole in my hand and watch the train up against the sky, with the black smoke trailing back as she rolled across the track that rolled across that Greenville trestle high. But the whistles don't sound like they used to. Lately, not many trains go by, and hard times across this land mean no work for a railroad man, and the Greenville trestle now don't seem so high. When the lonesome whistles whine, I get rambling on my mind. Lord, I wish they still sounded that way. As I turned to head for home, Lord, she'd rumble low and long toward the sunset at the close of day. But the whistles don't sound like they used to. Lately, not many trains go by. Hard times across this land mean no work for a railroad man, and the Greenville trestle now don't seem so high. No, the Greenville trestle now don't seem so high. Oh, thank y'all. You're kind.
Good job, Randy. It sounds good.
She did the Carter family.
Yeah, do that. Do your little medley of Carter family tunes. That's the very first tunes when I was younger than some of you folks. I had a neighbor that lived across the road from me that she had patience to mess with a little kid that learned stuff slow, and she would put my fingers in the right place, and she taught me to play some Carter family tunes because that's the stuff she knew. And old Oscar's up here a while ago, plays with what's left of the Carter family folks now, and does a great job. And does the real authentic stuff. But these are some tunes that they put on records, and the stuff that I heard when I was a kid, and stuff that she would show me. And my neighbor Catherine, always grateful to her for having patience to show me some of these tunes, and some of the first ones I ever learned. And everywhere I go play, I play these tunes just about. And just a little medley of some of those first Carter family tunes that I learned. Well, thank you. Appreciate you liking those old Carter family tunes. That's some of our heritage from right around the area right here, and I always enjoy playing those tunes. And some of the first ones I've never learned. And another one of my folks was an influence on me. I play a sort of a strange way of playing those fiddle tunes, sort of things I play. Generally, when you play them, people do it with a flat pick. They pick up and down like a. I'm sure you all are learning about all that kind of stuff, but I have a strange way of doing it. My dad was a fiddler, and tunes that I heard around the house and playing were mostly just regular old fiddle tunes and stuff, and it's sort of hard to do with a thumb pick and finger picks. And I was influenced a lot by a fellow named E.C. Ball. I don't know if there's anybody in here that's ever heard tell of him or not, but oh yeah, there must be some folks. And he was a great picker. He and his wife Orna traveled all over everywhere. They played mostly gospel music, but back in his early days, he played old time stuff. He and my dad had a band called the Rugby Gully Jumpers. And I think they sort of stole that last part of that name from, there was a Grand Ole Opry band called the Gully Jumpers way back. And but anyway, they call it Rugby's the name of that little town I live in. Not much of a town, there's only 7 people there. And I see a crowd this big, I get pretty excited, you know, and compared to what we're used to. And anyway, E.C. was one of my favorite guitar players. He played a thumb style, almost like a Travis thing, but not quite. He did his dampening with this hand up here. I don't know how never did figure out how he did that. But anyway, I'm going to play a little bit of I Am a Pilgrim, something like that. He played that tune quite a bit, and I sort of learned that a little bit from him. And I'll just pick a little bit of it and pick that on the mandolin, can't you? Please? Yeah. Well, thank you. That's a little bit in E.C.'s style of playing, and he was an influence on me playing. He also was the only person, I don't know how in the world that he afforded that, but somehow or another back in those days, he had a nice old Martin guitar. And, I wanted one of those things so bad, I couldn't stand it. And but no way me or my family could have afforded anything like that. And we grew up on a farm where we made everything, that pretty much we had, and we was used to having to make things. Even for some, I've always been a carver and a whittler and could shape things pretty good, if I had a whittling knife and a piece of wood. and EC had that nice old Martin guitar, and he would let me play it once in a while, but he had a little country store, and he would put a nail keg out in the middle of the floor where I couldn't possibly hit that guitar over anything. And he'd set it down on my lap and let me play it and hit a chord. I just could not believe how that thing sounded. And it was a thrill to get to do that, but it inspired me to try to make a guitar sort of like this one. And he let me draw a cardboard thing. He wouldn't let me take the strings off and feel inside. I had to guess at that X-brace pattern that's back in there, but I got it pretty close. And actually, my number 2 guitar that I was able to trade and get back, not too bad a sounding guitar. I play on it every once in a while, and EC was influence on that to give me a pattern to make better guitars, and I really appreciated his playing. He's a great big old fella, and I've never seen, you get bar chords, like they use in rock and roll and stuff, and I'd be back behind him playing, and when he'd get a bar chord, that finger would stick up 2 inches past that big old neck on that, and I don't know how he did that, but he got pretty clean bar chords and stuff, and it's just unusual. He was an unusual player, and made a couple of records for Rounder, and was getting to be pretty well known about the time he passed on in the mid-'70s, and I believe if he had lived on longer, he would have gotten to be a whole lot more famous fella. He played good, and he wrote a lot of gospel songs. He wrote one, Trials, Troubles, Tribulations, that was recorded by Peter Rowan and Tim O'Brien and all kinds of folks like that. And anyway, he was one of my main influences. And
You were so excited about that Martin guitar back then, and now people are trading Martin guitars for Hendersons.
Yeah. Well, that does happen once in a while, but anyway, I still love those old Martin guitars. There's a big influence on me too, and we listened to the radio a lot, when I was a kid, and just heard different kinds of music. There was a Cincinnati station that played a steel guitar rag for a theme song. We might do that one, but also the tunes like Panhandle Rag. It's I think it's sort of a Texas swing tune, but learned stuff like that just by listening to the radio when you didn't have people that played that kind of music in your community or anything. And we might try to do that one, the Panhandle Rag. Thank you. A little bit of the Texas Panhandle rag there, and maybe we'll do steel guitar rag while we're at it. And thank you. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. There's a couple of old, sort of like swing tunes we learned by listening to the radio, and most of this stuff we learned by picking with our neighbors and folks like Albert. And while we're out here, I play this. It's actually a Carter family tune, but I actually learned most of this after we got a TV sometime in the 50s. Flat and Scruggs came on every Saturday. I wouldn't miss that show for nothing. And everybody knows Earl Scruggs, probably the finest banjo player in the world, but he was a great guitar player too. I always fascinated with his guitar playing, and he played an awful lot of Carter family stuff because he had Maybelle as a guest on the show lots of times, and this it's actually a Carter family tune called the Cannonball Blues, but I learned it mostly by watching Earl on the TV. He could pick this tune good and try to play it sort of like that. Randy will help me out, I'm sure. little bit of the Cannonball Blues there. Could we do that gospel tune without Josh, you guess?
I think so.
We got a wonderful bass player we usually play with, who's a great singer and stuff too, and we're used to him. It sounds a little holler up here, but without him. But
anybody want to come up and hum a bass part? Or better yet, if you got a bass, go get it. But we only got a couple of minutes left, I guess. But we'll try you this one. Wayne, you were talking about Earl's guitar playing, and I guess this is some more classic Earl Scruggs guitar picking here on this song that actually Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs. How many knows who Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs is here? Yeah, well, all right. This is my kind of crowd. So I was going to ask how many mandolin players we have out there, but I was afraid it'd make me nervous if I seen a bunch of hands go up. So I've seen some go up. We do have a bass player coming. Wow, ask and you shall receive. We'll try this one that Lester Flatt and Earl Scruggs wrote, one entitled Paul and Silas in G.
Just get a big old G chord, all I know there.
Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long, crying, "Who shall deliver poor me?" Died the light, the flash of thunder roll all night long. Light the flash of thunder roll all night long. Light the flash of thunder roll all night long, crying, "Who shall deliver poor me?" Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long, crying, "Who shall deliver poor me?" Now the jailer cried, "What must I do?" all night long. The jailer cried, "What must I do?" all night long. The jailer cried, "What must I do?" all night long, crying, "Who shall deliver poor me?" Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long, crying, "Who shall deliver poor me?" Pick it, Wayne. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long. Paul and Silas bound to jail all night long, crying, "Who shall deliver poor me?"
Good bass player.
Yeah, just stick around. Just stick around.
Lay down. We got time to do one more or not? One more? We don't. I know y'all probably got to be in class in probably 2 or 3 minutes or something. Well, thank y'all so much for being a great audience to play for, and it's wonderful that you're coming here to learn music and probably already play or to get better or whatever. It's a great thing. Appreciate Tyler Hughes for operating a great operation here and all that. You want to do lay down old guitar?
Yeah, we can do that one. I guess that's
not lay it down for good, but for the time being, right? Just a D chord. So thank you all so much.
I'm gonna lay down my old guitar. lay down my old guitar. Lord, I wish I could strap it to my side, take it along with me. I'm sick in a lonesome bed, sick in a lonesome bed. No one to mend my aching head. I'm sick in a lonesome bed. I'm gonna lay down my old guitar, lay down my old guitar. Lord, I wish I could strap it to my side, take it along with me. Now there's no one to cry for me, no one to cry for me. Lord, I've wandered so far away, don't you see? No one to cry for me. I'm gonna lay down my old guitar, lay down my old guitar. Lord, I wish I could strap it to my side, take it along with me. Take it, Wayne Henderson. I'm gonna lay down my old guitar, lay down my old guitar. Lord, I wish I could strap it to my side, take it along with me. Thank you all.
Thank you, Randy Greer, and our wonderful bass player. Thanks for playing with us. Thank y'all.
All righty, one more time for Wayne Henderson and Randy Greer. Thank you all so much.
Thanks, Tyler.
Thank you. All right, maybe if folks ask real nice, Wayne will let you look at his guitar that he built up here too. I encourage you to come up and talk to Wayne for sure. I'm going to go through the workshops real quick here. So remember, we've got one more hour. And then after school today at 6 o'clock, if you'd like to come down to Jesse Lee RV Park, we're having an open jam. I'm about to sneeze. Sorry. It's open to everybody. You can come and hang out or you can come and play. Doesn't matter. Huh? Yes. Yeah. And Todd give me a thumbs up, right? Okay. Yeah. All right. Perfect. So we've got 3 workshop options here. You can do Circle of Fifths and some basic music theory with Jeff Dickinson in room 218. You could do a song swap with Martha Spencer, myself, a couple other folks. We're going to be singing some songs. And then there's also an intro to the dulcimer with Ann Lowe. Song swaps in room 119, dulcimers in room 128. And folks who don't want to go to those workshops, you can also jam staying in here. But you need to go to one of those 4 places, particularly if you're under the age of 18. Go to one of those 4 places. So one more time, Circle of Fifths 218, Song Swap 119, Dulcimer 128, and a jam in here at 3 o'clock. Please be picked up at the front door. Instructors, turn in your rosters. Thank you all so much.